OnEducation's FETC 2020 coverage is sponsored by Fidgets. Fidgets are interactive USB sensors that bring your code to life. There's no soldering or wiring required. Simply plug in a Fidget sensor, write code in your favorite language, and watch your ideas come alive. Fidgets are used by thousands of STEM professionals globally and are now available for computer science students. Simply go to bit.ly/Fidgets on Education to get your introductory kit that includes a free sensor worth over $50. That's bit.ly/Fidgets on Education.
Sometimes I pretend I'm Adele in the car, but I don't actually sing, and it sounds so
and
good.
You're just like,
All right, everybody, welcome to the podcast. We are here with Tanya Avrith and Clara Galan from Adobe Education. How are you? Welcome at FETC live
in beautiful Miami, Florida, where the weather is so much better than Minnesota.
Oh,
and Ontario.
Nicer than San
Our wives
Francisco,
are going to hate hearing that. Oh,
I'm sorry,
my
guys.
God.
I'll be super Canadian right now and just say I'm so sorry for your weather because I live here now. Sorry.
Sorry, not sorry.
So
Yes.
before we get started,
Yes.
so happy,
yes.
especially to finally have Tanya on the podcast because there's origin stories abounding here. And I've written about this on my blog, but and I'll say it out loud, just like I say, I don't think I would be here right now if it wasn't for Tanya. So straight up, and I've wrote about it, so you can go read it, because I'll get like all emotional if I keep talking about it.
Stop.
I actually want to see Mike cry, so keep talking.
No.
Tell us more.
But I mean, you know, when you start teaching and you feel like you're doing good work, but you're screaming into the void sometimes, pushing against the water and all of those other analogies. And you know, I shared that thing, and then Tanya saw it and shared, and it just went.
It was
and then,
sick, though. Even
Thank
now,
you.
it was. I still remember the tweet. It was your portfolios that
Yeah,
you showcased.
yeah.
First of all, still, it's 2020. I guarantee you, like 90% of people are not doing portfolios. This
Yeah.
was what, 2013.
Yeah.
Okay, so like you were doing super groundbreaking stuff back then. Then you were sharing it out. It looked amazing, and it caught on like wildfire. How many retweets were on that tweet? Do you remember?
Hundreds.
Hundreds. It was mental.
Over the time, like even so, Glen tweeted it just the other day because
Yes.
it came up.
Oh my
someone
God.
said
And even
something negative.
then, it got
Wow.
even then it got like 20 retweets.
Yeah.
On like a
'Cause-
retweet that
which
Glen
is,
did.
It's amazing and so sad
Yeah.
all at the same time because 8 years later, like, or something.
They're like, oh my,
Wow.
what an innovative idea
Yeah,
from
but-
7 years ago.
Yes. But it was amazing.
It's
And
awesome.
I remember saying like, wow, who's this guy? This is awesome stuff. So you were kicking butt like years ago, and look at you now, like
Yeah.
on the floor at
Here we
FETC. I watch you and I'm like a proud mom. Like I see you at conferences.
Oh, boy.
I see you at like featured speaker, keynoting,
I'm
doing all this
blushing
stuff. No, and I'm like, oh my God, this is the best. I love
Yeah.
it. I'm so happy for you. I
Thank
love
you.
seeing your success. So, and you deserve it.
Yeah, it's been an awesome road. Especially the last 2 years have been wild.
See, when you put things out there and you
yeah.
have good things
Yeah,
to say, the universe responds. I think it's like not a secret. Like it actually is the secret, but whatever. We can talk about that in another podcast.
So, so we're all doing good work though, for sure.
Yes.
And it's funny how many friends we have at Adobe. Like we don't give many. I'm going to say it this way. We don't give many brands, like we don't give many vendors and like companies our airtime anymore.
Fair enough, for sure.
But we want to, mostly because we want to choose who we give that to.
Definitely.
But it's like Claudio, for example, is
love
doing he's doing work with us now. Like he's working. He's part of our team. Like and like we have so many friends, including you two, that with Adobe that it just made sense to have you on and talk about all the awesome work that you're doing. So we're at FETC and there's so much going on. So why don't you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we're so excited to be here with primarily the Adobe Spark team, and Tanya and I have worked together for a while now.
Long time. So talk about origin stories. We met at TCEA, Clara and I, and it was because she was working with Reminds. You guys know Reminds.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Of course.
So she was like, you need to, we need to talk. Because you guys were starting a teacher ambassador program.
We were. It's full
It's
circle.
Holy smokes.
And I had
blew my
watched.
mind. I'm having like Inception right now.
I know.
Oh my God.
We're working on it again.
Oh my God, we're working on it again. And they were like, we want to pick your brains. Because like at the time I was like, and this is all full circle. Because like you, Mike, I was working at a school district back in the day. Oh my gosh, I'm banging my hand. Bad thing. I'm in a full. Oh no. Okay, so I was working at a school district, and I was doing innovative things, and I was like kind of alone. Like, and I feel like so many of us kind of go through that. We're like, we go to these conferences, or we go on social media, we go on Twitter, and you're like, oh, there's other people like me, because even though it's 2020 and we still are talking about portfolios, and like 90% of people or 95 are not doing them still. Crazy, right? Because it's good teaching and learning. But like you were doing that 8 years ago, and you felt alone, and you reached out and you were like, I need to connect with people. Like I need to find people that are like me. And like these conferences bring us together. It's like summer camp. It's like winter camp. Like these are my people, my tribe. And have always been searching for my tribe. And so anytime there's an opportunity to connect, I'm excited about it, right? Like I did the Google Innovator, it was Google Teacher Academy in 2012. I became an ADE in 2013. Like anytime I was like, let me find people, I want to connect, I would try it. And then I became an AEL, an Adobe Education leader a couple years ago. And I just kind of full circle, connect with Clara, and she's like, we're going to start this new educator community. Yeah. And this was at Remind many years ago. Yeah. And now full circle, I'm with Adobe as the education evangelist, and we are in the works right now of revamping our community. And I'm going to let kind of Clara talk a little bit about it, because it's super, super exciting, and it's going to be different. We've kind of looked at what's kind of happening and what communities are out there, and we're going to be Adobe, and so
No, and I think it's so important from even an ed tech company perspective. And so a lot of times we're working on different products for what works in the classroom, but ultimately, we're in an office developing these things, and we need to be out in classrooms and listening to teachers to hear what's working with students. And obviously not every classroom and group of students is going to be the same. So how do we personalize that experience for teachers? But ultimately what I'm most passionate about is forming these communities of educators, really inspiring educator-driven professional development, and elevating the voices of teachers so that we can share, how they're approaching different issues in the classroom, how they can share with one another. Because as Tanya said, ultimately, we feel isolated sometimes. I'm a former middle school teacher, and I would go on Twitter to be inspired by other educators. I wasn't having that within my own school. So at Adobe, what we want to do is really provide those opportunities. So we're super excited. On Thursday, we're partnering with Soundtrap and Clever, and we're doing an event. We're currently sold out, but there's like an extensive wait
For
list.
the record, my event's sold out too on Thursday.
Nice. Oh, awesome.
So whatever.
We can go to one and event hop.
You're VIP, you're coming.
But let's talk about your event.
But we want to hear about your event too. Yeah, no, we're really excited. So we'll be launching something called the Adobe Creative Educator Program.
Awesome. Nice.
So it will be
nice name.
Yeah, and so I think, traditionally Adobe has worked with a lot of graphic design faculty members, and worked in CTE programs and with multimedia. And really, with Adobe Spark and Rush, we're really trying to figure out how can we inspire creativity in the classroom across all subject areas. And so this will be an opportunity for teachers to kind of go through this program, demonstrate how they're implementing creative literacy in their classrooms. What does creative literacy mean?
What does it even mean?
Yeah, and how, how are we kind of moving the needle forward, and then building that community of educators to support one another and provide both online and in-person opportunities for them to connect.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
How do people, you guys are kicking this off.
Yeah.
And then how, teachers are interested in joining this, where can they go, or is the site already built, or is there a platform? Or
So,
will you
by
guys
the way,
do
guys,
some
this is super
announcements?
exclusive because we've never
We have
actually
never.
shared
This is the
anywhere.
first time we've talked about this publicly.
This
So we're about to share with the world.
Yeah. So you're actually the first group
Bam.
that
First
we've
group
ever spoken
Thank you.
about.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
All right.
so go ahead.
Yeah, so we'll be launching this year. So date to be announced,
TBA.
but it's happening
Okay.
this year.
Yes.
But we currently have a landing page and waitlist that we're sharing out at our event. So
Great.
stay tuned to the Adobe for EDU Twitter channel
Can we
and
put it
Facebook
in the show
group.
notes?
Yes,
Is it okay?
definitely.
We'll put it in the show
Absolutely.
Yep,
notes.
we'll send out the link. And then there are some resources on there and online webinars that we're doing in the time being.
Yeah.
But
So for the next 5 months.
Yeah.
We're going to have monthly themes, verticals, we're calling them. And so if you're following myself, the Adobe for Education, Twitter handle, Jen Williams is doing some work with us as well. We love Jen. If you're following us, you'll be able to come in and sort of see some content, some ideas, some strategies around creation literacy that you can apply in your classroom. And so every month we'll have different themes that we'll focus on. So there'll be webinars, there'll be, blog posts, just tons of resources,
Interesting.
lessons, all kinds of stuff that we're kind of working towards.
Yep.
And so definitely keep an eye out for that. Follow, myself, Clara, Jen, and you'll see a ton of content that's going to be coming your way in the next few months.
Amazing. That's exciting.
yeah, we're
It's
really
so
excited.
exciting.
It's gonna be a whirlwind of a year, but
2020 is
so
going to be
exciting.
the best.
It's gonna be the
Already
best.
feels so good, doesn't it?
Yeah,
and
we're
it
starting
barely
in Miami.
started, so it's kind of like, okay.
It's all mindset,
Yes,
right?
it
Feeling
totally is a
good. It's a
In
total
education,
mindset.
2020 is going to be the best.
Well, we've been talking about this stuff for a long time.
Yeah.
So maybe this.
Maybe
So
we'll
many
all
things
get
are
those
happening.
portfolios in classes now.
I know, right?
And it's funny because at dinner last night, we were talking about esports and how the groundwork for a decade has been laid. And it seems like it's all happening
Starting to
this
take off.
week.
Yeah.
At FETC, it's like the coming out party for esports and education.
That's awesome.
It feels like it anyways, because I'm doing stuff with Epic Games this week, and they're here. They have a
That's so
booth
cool.
at FETC, which is unbelievable.
It's so interesting because I was at a conference. I was a featured speaker in Palm Beach last week for their EdTech conference, which is
Yeah.
quite big. They have over 1,000 people that come from the district, and there was a whole esports.
It's amazing. It's
at
happening.
the school district. They had a whole.
Things
group
are
of
happening.
It's amazing.
Things are
Yeah.
happening.
This is definitely. I agree. A lot of schools this year have kind of decided we're going to move in. Well, there's scholarship opportunities.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a whole new world.
Well, imagine now this is the time for not just technology. I'm so tired of talking about technology.
Me too.
Yeah.
I'm so over it.
It's just
Isn't
good
that-
teaching.
Yeah.
Let's just call it good teaching, please.
Isn't that
I've been
the
saying
best?
that for a while.
Even our
Yeah.
position, my position was technology integrationist. Both my colleague and I, we just said, we're not technology integrationists. We just changed ourselves to instructional coaches. We're sure,
Love
we
that.
deal with technology. We want to be out of that game because
Well,
it sucks.
We've come a long way
pigeonholes
though,
you.
right?
Yes,
Think
it
about
truly
8 years
is.
ago,
It truly
it
is.
was all about that because
Yes.
nobody even knew how to use it. And I think
It was the
that-
iPad Summit.
Yes,
right?
remember that?
And iPad Palooza.
iPad Palooza,
and,
yeah.
and, right?
And it's
Yeah.
changing,
App
right?
Fest.
Yeah.
Miami
Yeah.
device.
Yes. Now
Now it's all
yes.
focused on teaching and
Yeah,
learning.
right. And so at least the conversations are starting to change.
100%.
Which is super exciting. And I think that we're gonna get there. But the reality is, I always get super excited come to these and I talk to like-minded people, and then again I'll go back to those teachers who are listening to this, they're like, not my reality. So I think that it's really powerful for people to be able to still have things to listen to, like your podcast, or communities that they can come back to and join and feel like they're part of something bigger, because it does get better eventually. We're super happy because we're doing stuff that we love and we feel like we're part of something bigger.
Yeah.
And I want people who listen to this to also feel that way as well. It's stay positive in your own class because it will happen. Keep on posting things like Mike,
Yeah, share.
share. You never know, who's watching or who you're inspiring, because something will good things happen when you share things. I that's
100%.
story of my life. Talk to people.
100%. Well, I think that's actually a really good place to end it.
Yeah. How can people make sure that they connect with you guys, though, so they do find that community and maybe even, I think you guys have even a chat too, right? That people can join in at times. Yeah,
We do. So hashtag #CreateEDU. So if you go on anytime on Twitter, you can find that conversation, resources that we've been sharing. And we also have an open educational resource platform called the Adobe Education Exchange. So there's free courses, lesson plans. You can connect
There's
with
more
teachers
things there
internationally.
than there are hours and days.
It's
Look
insane.
through. It's
Yeah.
incredible. It's all crowdsourced from community. It's pretty impressive.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
there's over 600,000 teachers on it. So very international community.
And you
in
can
Adobe.
follow us
Yes.
at Tanya Avrith.
And then I'm on Twitter at Miss Clara Galan.
Awesome. Thank you.
Tanya and Clara, thanks so much for joining us.
Oh my gosh, thank
Hey,
you guys
thank
so
you.
much. I'm like a proud mommy. I'm
Yeah,
so
I'm so
proud of you
excited for
guys.
FETC.
So proud.
Thanks for listening to On Education. My name is Glen Irvin. My co-host is Mike Washburn. On Education is part of the On Podcast Media Network. You can listen to this show and many others by great educators like Monica Burns, Mike Matera, Tisha Richmond, and many more by visiting onpodcastmedia.com. Want to get in touch with us? Check out our website at oneducationpodcast.com. You can tweet us at OnEducationPod. Mike is at Mr. Washburn on Twitter, and I can be found on Twitter at IrvSpanish. You can find us on Facebook by visiting facebook.com/OnEducationPod. We're also on Instagram at OnEducationPod. If you're enjoying the show and think others would too, we would be thrilled if you shared it with them. Please leave us a rating or review in Apple Podcasts or the Google Play Store. When you leave a rating, it gives our rankings a boost. This helps others discover the show. We want to thank our presenting sponsor, Classcraft, for supporting us. Check out classcraft.com/OnEducation to learn more about them. Thanks as always for listening. Stay awesome and see you soon.